Good morning, everybody. Just a little live stream this morning. Type this into our chat. There we go. Ooh, nice spelling. We're off to a solid start. Okay, there we go. Good morning. So, this morning I got up, and it must have been delivered, I guess, last night because we opened the door and there was a box sitting on the porch. And though I hadn't ordered anything recently, the only thing that was out there for me to be delivered was a box from the Black Library in the form of the new limited edition Saturnine novel from Dan Abnett and the Black Library. Now, interestingly enough, I hopped over onto the web, so let's go ahead and just switch cameras here. So I hopped over to the web and I went to I went to the Black Library and I did a little search for Saturnine or any of that, and I have nothing. There is nothing on the GW website that I see directly. However, if I go over to, sorry, it was a Black Library, that's where I was also searching. Here we go. I can come over to Amazon, and here we see the cover of the standard edition of this book. And that looks like Demon Primarch Angron raining down on Terra in some way. So we see the book, the standard edition at least, is available on Amazon, and it looks like it's going to be released July 7th of 2020. Let's see. Then I popped over to the Warhammer community page, and they had this cool kind of map that we could search around for the actual layout. I like the old school sort of Renaissance map style here. So we see Terra and Luna and the various fleets that are coming in on them. So zoom out on that. The Sol system, Uranus looking all spiky there, Pluto, Neptune, and Saturn over here. Of course, they're showing everything in one side of the solar system, which makes it real convenient for telling a story about battles and such. But what if the maybe Horus could have hit when Earth was Sol was maybe over on this side, and perhaps all the defenses were on the other side of the solar system. Anyways, best not to analyze these kinds of things. This is the road to madness, as it were. So we can meet the authors. We've got Gav Thorpe, and let's see, Dan Abnett. Dan Abnett started the Horus Heresy in Horus Rising and has written many beloved novels in the series since, including Legion, Prospero Burns, No Fear, and Unremembered Empire. Let's see here. And there we are. Okay, just do that real quick so I can monitor on my other screen what's going on. Anyway, so we have our buddy Dan Abnett outside the Horus Heresy, best known for his long-running Gaunt's Ghosts, Astra Militarum, and we can see more from Dan Abnett. And boom, that takes us to the Dan Abnett section of the Black Library with many quality books. Wow, is that 91 books? 91 books he's been involved in. Imagine that is also short stories and anthologies in there. So anyways, we can go here to the Warhammer community site where there is still a page talking about the Siege of Terra. There's the book that we're going to take a look at, and of course, really selling it to us, what we're going to see inside, and the rest of the series. So without further ado, here we have, of course, the listing on the 40K, or excuse me, yeah, Lexicanum, though technically 30K, tells us who's in there, etc. And let's go ahead and take a look at the desk here. So let's go. Oh, there we go. Very nice. Now, of course, if you want to see my lovely face, I think I've turned that cam down. So sorry, you get to to see this, what's going on. So here we are. Let's get into it. We have nice box from the Black Library, and of course we also got this free Black Library Celebration book. Looks like it is 6 short stories. Aaron Dembski Bowden, ADB, David Annandale, Sarah Cockwell, Mike Brooks, Robert Rath, and Danny Ware. So, not that was even a little image. Oh, in your next read, middle commercial right in the middle there. I guess that's expected for free book. Anyways, that looks pretty good. We'll set that off to the side here. And we're actually zoomed in. We'll zoom out a little bit so we can just see as I flip this around. So, nice box. And it looks like I am going to have number 790. That's what that seems to be written on there. So let's crack this open. Try not to rip it too much. And typical of these limited edition from GW, the book itself comes wrapped in a nice tissue with a little sticker here showing what's going on. And of course, we can flip that every which way. See some of the gold leaf that we'll take a look at here. And let's go ahead and just peel this back. Let's see if we can do this without tearing it too much. No, that's just not going to happen. That's going to be ripped. So I think my best bet is to very carefully just cut around the symbol. Try not to destroy it. Of course, also being very careful not to cut the book underneath. And we seem to be good enough right there. There we go. That knife out of the way. Might be doing a little project later today. You see in the background here, I have my War Scryer Citadel. So I was considering putting that together maybe this afternoon. So here we go, peeling back the cover. Ooh, Saturnine by Dan Abnett. Very nice gold leaf, big bronze imperial fist logo. I guess it's technically this fist over here. Never noticed it was the left fist. That's an interesting detail. Ooh, look at that. Very nice. Again, there's that image we saw of the actual cover of Angron coming down on Earth, raining down onto the Imperial Palace, in fact. As we look now, we see crowds of people, lots of gunfire and battles, some kind of war engines moving in. Over here, I see a big Imperial Fist dude. I see a custodian. I see some humans. So that should be pretty good action. Now I see a small right there. Let's see, now let's just zoom in a bit. Right. So small details, right? See if we can pull that a little more on center. Okay, so there is a small flub right there, and I suspect here where we see the separation of the book, this is where it was held open for Dan to sign it, so probably a fingernail, or something like that caused this small damage. Maybe it was Dan Abnett, although I imagine if he's mass signing, they had an intern next to him actually, opening the books, and then he's just right there. You've seen how these signings go, so all those details. And so there it is. We see Mr. Dan Abnett. I have number 790 of 2500. There we go. So yeah, right there. Open that page, and there's that. Now, interestingly enough, it looks to me like this page was opened. So I wonder if that was what was opened originally, or it just kind of pulls. I see when you open this, it pulls that with it. So let's zoom out a little here. So as I was saying, you can see where this pulls it, so that shows where that whole section was lifted up, held it down. Dan signed his name right there above the thing. Really nice signature, large, centered. You can see nice centering in this direction. I've not seen his actual signature before, so there's the color plate of the cover. And we have our cast of characters, as they like to do at the beginning of these Horus Heresy. Now it's Horus Heresy, Siege of Terra. So who do we have here? Ooh, actually this is nice. So this is not the characters. So this is actually a listing of all the books so far in order. So book 1, 31, 33, and book 54. Now, for the record, I have read all 54 of those books. I own all 54 of those books. Also, we have some additional, I have a few of these, Aurelian, for example. So some nice Talarn Executioner, that was a good book. Wolf King, very nice. And then we also have, ooh, look, here's all the audio dramas, some of the scripts. That's a nice listing right there of all the things that we can get as part of that. And let's see here. First published Great Britain, 2020. Time of Legend, the galaxy is in flames. The Emperor's glorious vision for humanity is in ruins. His favored son, Horus, has turned from his father's light and embraced chaos. His armies, the mighty and redoubtable Space Marines, are locked in a brutal civil war. Once, these ultimate warriors fought side by side as brothers, protecting the galaxy and bringing mankind back into the Emperor's light. Now they are divided. Some remain loyal to the Emperor, whilst others have sided with the War Master, preeminent amongst them. The leaders of their 1,000-strong legion are the Primarchs, magnificent superhuman beings. They are the crowning achievement of the Emperor's genetic science. Thrust into battle against one another, victory is uncertain for either side. Worlds are burning. At Istavan 5, Horus dealt a vicious blow, and 3 loyal legions were all but destroyed. War has begun, a conflict that will engulf all mankind in fire. Treachery and betrayal have usurped honor and nobility. Assassins lurk in every shadow. Armies are gathering. All must choose a side or die. Horus musters his armada, Terra itself the object of his wrath. Seated upon the golden throne, the Emperor waits for his wayward son to return. But this, his true enemy, is chaos, a primordial force that seeks to enslave mankind to its capricious whims. The screams of the innocent, the pleas of the righteous resound to the cruel laughter of dark gods. Suffering and damnation await all should the Emperor fail and the war be lost. The end is here. The skies darken. Colossal armies gather for the fate of the throne world, for the fate of mankind itself. The siege of Terra has begun. Ooh, good stuff. Good stuff. Imperial Palace. Herein lies a cartographic of the immortal emperor's glorious sanctuary circa 0014 M31. The outer walls overrun by forces of the arch traitor, as several key war fronts developed around the palace at Saturnine Wall, Lion's Gate, and the Eternity Spaceport. Nice. The bastions of Corbonic, Colossi, and Gorgon Bar were to be particularly significant during this crucial phase of the siege. Author Anonymous. Okay, let's open this up. Let's see, there we go. Ooh, nice map. Let's zoom out so we can see this entire map as it unfolds. Ooh, look at that. Wow, that is nice. Okay, so we have the Imperial Palace, Blackstone Prison, the Hegemon, the Ultimate Gate. Here is the Saturnine wall section right here. What is this? There's the Lion's Gate, the Interior Gate. There's the Lion's Gate Spaceport. The Eternity Wall Spaceport. That is the Daylight Wall. If you've been reading the series, these should be all familiar locations to you. Helios Gate, Procession of the Eternals, Ultimate Gate. So this is a zoom in here of the defense of the Lion's Gate. So we have the Orium Guard, Orium Bar, Gorgon Bar, Marmax, Colossi, Corbenic, Lion's Gate, Ultimate Gate, Anterior Gate. So there's the Ultimate Gate. So this is a zoom in of this little section here. Pretty cool little graphic, pretty cool map. What else? Here's finally the dramatic personae, all the people that we'll see in here. Emperor's Children, Dark Mechanicum, World Eaters, the Mournival, Sons of Horus, Iron Warriors, Fulgrim, Perturabo, Angron, Mortarion, Magnus the Red, Defenders of Terra, Jagatai Khan, Rogel Dorn, Sanguinius, Malkador the Sigillite, Constantine Valdor, some of your favorite characters from Imperial Fists, White Scars, Shiban Khan, called the Taxir, Blood Angels, Raldoron, Zephon, Imperial Army, Cinderman's Order, interesting, Kirill Cinderman, Historians, Arkan Land, as in the Land Raider, very cool. Blackstone Fortress will be involved here, it looks like. Oh, here we go, a bust of Garviel Loken, Nathaniel Garro, Janetta Kroll, Vigil Commander of the Silent Sisterhood, Kirill Cinderman, interesting, that's how I pictured him. Earth has lost its youthfulness. It is gone. Like a happy dream. Now every day brings us closer to destruction, to desert. I need to fight whole armies alone. I have 10 hearts. I have 100 arms. I feel too strong to war with mortals. Bring me gods. Immortality for us is impossible. Interesting. Those are actually ancient Greek quotes. Ooh, that's nice. First page, big red W, nice graphics. Let's go ahead and zoom in on those a little bit. Yeah, that looks good, huh? Nice. And I think that's about it. Let's see here. See, each chapter has a nice plate. Of course, we have a beautiful red ribbon bookmark. Let's see, does that come from the top or the bottom? It must come from the top and wraps around the bottom. There we go, yep. Fold that back in. Left well enough alone on that. And if we go all the way to the back, we have some plates. So let's see. Who is that? Got a couple eyes. Is that some Horus? The wolf, is that Horus Lupercal? Before his ascendancy? Maybe? There we go. Magnus the Red. Oh, the afterword. And author would like to thank the High Lords, Nick Kime, Guy Haley, Chris Wright, John French, Gav Thorpe, and Aaron Dembski Bowden for efforts above and beyond the call, and also the High Lords of Emeritus, Graham McNeil, and Jim Swallow. Thank you for all your help and patience. Serious thanks to Jacob Youngs, Honorary High Lord, and Karen Mixa, Nick Abnett, and Jess Wu for first reading and copy edit brilliance. Rachel Harrison for skillfully negotiating art and maps, and to everyone, great and small, Primarch or Lasman, who has contributed to the myth of the Horus Heresy over the years. Very nice. And there's our back, and finally it says, I hope our father burns when the time comes. I hope Lupercal turns him into a screaming corpse. But you won't see that, Rogel. You're the one who dies here. Ooh. Strong words on the cover. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for this live stream with the unboxing of the Siege of Terra Saturnine book that just arrived. This is the limited edition once again. I hope you all enjoyed that this morning. I'll be checking back in with you perhaps a little later today or maybe tomorrow. There we go. Look good. Gotta show off my R2D2 shirt. And we'll see what we work on. Probably next up for me is building this War Scryer Citadel. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, hope you all have a great Saturday. Talk to you later. Bye.